Magandang araw mga kamataral. Ngayon po ay ating tatalakayin ang ating first lesson sa ating quarter 1 sa Mathematics 7. So today we're going to discuss about the sets. After today's discussions, we can describe and illustrate well-defined sets, subsets, universal sets, and null sets. And we can also represent sets and subsets using Venn diagram. For us to understand it very well, let's move on the next slide. Sets. A set is a group of objects by its definitions. And for its example, so let's take a look on people in class. Let's define the sets. But we're going to enumerate the elements itself. Ano po ba yung elements? Yung elements po ay yung nilalaman po nung nasa loob. But how can we read it properly? So ito po siya. Ito po ang gagawin natin dyan. So, in reading the sets with its elements yung nasa loob, ito po ang ating babanggitin lagi. Is a set whose elements are. Ayan. Is a set whose elements are that represents the elements here enclosed with curly bracket. Ayan po. So the proper way on how to read it is this one. People in class or in a class is a set whose elements are Alex, Briggs, Casey. The next one, classes paired by a department is a set whose elements are English, Filipino, Math, Science. And when you see three dots here, it reads as so on and so forth. So meaning to say, may mga iba pang subject na susunod kay science. There will be more subject right after science po. So meron silang TLE, AP, MAPE, and etc. The next one, colors of a rainbow. Colors of a rainbow is a set whose elements are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So let's move forward. So for the next example, state of matter. So state of matter is a set whose elements are solid, liquid, gas, plasma. The next, three major land of the Philippines is a set whose elements are Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And on the last part, sets can contain non-related elements. So, you could say that it is a set whose elements are 3A, red, Marco. They are non-related elements. For a proof, number 3 is belong belongs to numbers. A is for vowels. Red is for colors. Marco, proper noun. Name of a person po iyan. So, kaya po siya non-related elements. So, move forward po tayo. These are the concepts and details that holds the properties of sets B be firm at talagang ito po yung nagpapatunay talaga sa properties ng sets na pinag-aralan natin kanina. Order does not matter. As you can see on the elements na nakalagay, is a set whose elements 1, 2, 3, 4 is the same with the sets whose elements are 4, 2, 1, 3. So whatever the positions of the elements inside the set representations, pareho lang po yan. Kahit mag-jumble pa po yung order nila. Kahit ano po. Basta pareho po sila ng number of elements. Ito 4, ganun din dito 4. Hindi po. Sets are notated with curly brackets. Just what I mentioned a while ago po, tulad po nun. Ayan. And sets do not have duplicate elements. So, as you can see here, a set whose elements are A, E, E, I, O, U, and U. Ayan po. Meron po siya minsang duplicity, and then ito multiples ng 4 na beses, at ito 2. Pagdating po sa counting po niyan, ay paisa-isa lang po yan. Kahit ilang beses siya maulit, ang bilang niyan po ay isa lamang. Kaya nga sinabi, there is no duplicate elements. So, the A is A lang, yung dalawang E, isang E, and the I, O, and U. So, tandaan nyo lamang po, there is no such duplicate elements sa representations po. Okay, so next part is this one. Sets are usually represented by a capital letter, such as A, B, C, and etc. Elements are usually represented by an italic lowercase letter, such as small letter A, X, Y, etc. But take note, when the elements is a proper noun, name of a person or places, your entry for the element must be start with capital letter po. Tulad po ng pangalan kanina ni Marco. Proper noun po siya. Ayun. Kaya siya ay capital letter. And we can use ellipsis, yung tatlong tuldok na sinasabi ko po kanina, just to represent that there is more or there are more or there is more entry or elements doon sa doon mismo sa sets na ating pinapaliwanag o nire-represent tulad po nito. Let's say B or set B rather is a set of numbers greater than or equal to 0. Katumbas ni 0 o mas mataas sa kanya. So, kung magbibilang tayo, simula tayo kay 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, at madami pang mga numero na mas mataas kay 0. Kay 3 rather. Madami pa pong susunod dyan. 1 to sawa po yan. In 8 million times. So, we replace those possibility into 3 dots, the so on and so forth, or the ellipsis. Just to indicate that there is more entry pa or elements followed by 3. Ayan po. Follow next to 3 rather. So next part is this one. Since we are done in subsets and deliberating to you the concepts and the ideas that supports the sets, so let's move to subsets. Subset. A set A is a subset of set B. Subset of set B. If all elements of A rather or set A are also elements of set B. The relationships denoted with these symbols. We read it as subset. So A subset B. How can we justify that a set is a subset of another set? So yun yung ating aalamin ngayon. So ito, as you can see here, we have two circles here. The circles for set B and the circle for set A. As you can see here, set B is a big circle where doon sa loob niya, there is a small circle for set A. Ito po, para malaman po natin at maunawaan. All elements na makikita nyo po kay set B ay sa kanya po, including the elements found in set A. Why? Because set A is inside set B circles po. Tulad po nakikita niyo po. And to tell you this is a part of Venn diagram as we mentioned on our first slide. So let's check. This is the representations of set A into elements. So set A is a set whose elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. And set B, we said that all the elements found in set B are the elements itself, or the elements rather of set B itself. So, tingnan nyo na lamang po. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we can write the elements of set B in any orders. As long as there is no such elements na magmumultiple po or maduduplicate. Kahit in any order po, siya pa rin po yan. Nire-write lang po ni Sir yan ng magkakasunod kasi mas magandang tingnan. Okay, paano pag walang figure? Okay, ganito lamang po yan. How can you justify that the sets is a subset of another sets? So, ito lamang po yan. So, tingnan nyo lamang po yung magkakapareho po sa kanila. Take note that the sets with largest number of elements is bigger than the sets whose elements are less in number of elements. Tulad po nakita niyo po. Pareho sila pong may 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So, without the figure itself, we could say that set A is a subset of B. But, we could not say that set B is a subset of A. Why? Dahil si set B ay mas maraming element compared kay set A. So, next po tayo. So, let's move forward. Okay, universal set. A universal set, usually denoted by italic U, is a set which has elements of all the related sets without any repetitions of elements. Okay po, yan yung tulad na kaninang nabanggit ko po dun sa properties. So, universal set. In the figure here, as you can see, there is a U, italic U here. It represents universal sets. And all elements found in universal sets are the elements of universal sets itself. Ayan po, tulad po ng nakita niyo po, we have A, B, C, D, A, B, C rather, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that defines the universal sets. And inside the universal set, there is a set D whose elements are B, 2, 4, and 6. Ayan po. As you can see on the representations of the set D. Now, if we don't have figure here, tulad po ng kita niyo po ito, we can focus on the representations of universal sets by listing and the representations of the set D by listing po. Tingnan niyo po yung entry. Ayan, makikita niyo po. Ayan. Mas madali pong unawain ng universal sets compared po doon sa subsets. But, all I can say, ang mga bagay na ito o yung mga nauna pa rito ay mahalaga pong malaman ninyo para po mas madalian po tayo sa pag-aaral po ng sets. Don't you worry guys, mas madalian po tayo po rito just to focus on this. The next part is null set. Null set is a set A set with no members is called a empty or null set. It is denoted with zero slash or a empty set. Na tulad po nito, open and close curly bracket. So, in here, we define universal sets as all God's creations. Yeah. So, inside universal sets representations with the use of Venn diagram, we have three sets here. Set E is defined as name of every man on earth. Set F, name of every woman on earth. And set G, names of computer virus or viruses. So in here, set E defines as every man on earth. So every man on earth is valid because it states here dito sa Venn diagram that the names of every man on earth, lahat ng tao sa mundo ay mapangalan. At kung isa kang kabataan, pinangalanan ka ng mga magulang mo, ayan, na siyang nilikha ng Panginoon. So that is why you are God's creations. So valid po siya. Every man on earth is the God's creations. So, kung isa ka mang batang lalaki, you are God's creations. That given a name by your parent, which is sila ay talagang nilikha ng Panginoon na gaya mo rin. Ayan. Kaya valid po siya dito. Set F, names of every woman on earth. Pareho po ng konseptong ginamit po doon sa set E. Binigyan ka ng pangalan, inaruga ka, ayan, binihisan, ayan po. So, where your parents is one of the God's creations. Ayan. So, valid po siya. Every woman on earth is God creation. Pagdating po kay set G, name of computer viruses. The question is, who invented the computer viruses? Does God create computer viruses? No, you cannot say that because computer viruses is a human-made. So, gawa ng tao yan. So, doon sa representation na yan, masasabi mo na computer viruses ay null set. Why? Because computer viruses does not belong to God creations. It is human-made. Human product po yan. Kaya, human-made, which is unethical to say that it is a God's creation. So, yun po yung isa sa pinaka pagpapaliwanag po ng null sets by giving a situations like this po. So, move forward po tayo. Union of sets. It's a set of all elements found in both sets. The union of A and B denoted by A, U, B and read as A union B. So, hindi po ito italic. U as ganyan po yan. So, let's say, how can we justify that the union of two sets be rewrite or combine? So, ganito po siya. So, assuming here, we have set A, whose elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, and set B, whose elements are 2, 4, 6, and 8. In representations of sets by listing of elements, tulad po nakita ninyo, the same with set B. If we are asked to find the union of B of two sets A and B, A union B, we could write it as this one by listing all the elements which is not duplicating the elements or with duplicate elements. Hindi po siya pwedeng maulit. So, isusulat lang po natin siya ng isa. Diba tulad nga po na nabanggit, there is no such elements na mauulit po sa law ng representations ng elements. Kaya paisa-isa lang po tayo. Kahit ilang beses po maulit yan. Kaya sa union, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. The union of sets A and B. At kung wala pong gantong representations at whereas the union of two sets, tingnan nyo na lamang po yung mga numero o elements na nakikita nyo po sa loob ng Venn diagram. In any order nyo po, pwede po yun. Because order does not matter. The next one is this one. The intersections of sets. Unlike the union of sets, the intersections of sets A and B, or two sets denoted by A and with the symbol B, is a set of all elements common to both sets A and B. Intersection po ang basa dyan. A intersection B. So, ayun. Kanina, pinag-combine. Yun yung union. Ngayon, intersections of sets, yung common o parehong meron po sa kanila. Usually, pag two Venn diagram po ang ginagamit, madalas po yung lagi nakikita sa gitna. Ayan po. Tulad po nakikita ninyo. So, the same Venn diagram ang ating ginamit. So, the representations are here. Ayan, mapapansin nyo. By figure, ang parehong meron kay set A and set B ay yung 2 and 4. So, automatically, the union of A and B is elements 2 and 4. But without the figure itself, pwede po natin malaman yan na ang mga elements na pareho po sa kanila o intersections ng dalawang sets ay i-cross mo lamang yung pareho nila. Sa ganito po ang magitan, madali mong malalaman yan. Parehong may 2, parehong may 4. And the rest, wala na. So that is why the intersections of two sets, A and B, are elements 2 and 4. Yun po yun. So binabasa po yan as the intersections of set A and B is 2 and 4. Or the elements 2 and 4. So yun po yung isa sa mga basa. Kung gusto niyo naman po, A intersection B is a set of elements. Is a set whose elements are 2 and 4. So wala pong problema doon. Ito lang po yung medyo mas magandang pakinggan. Ayan. Pero wala naman pong pinagkaiba doon sa A intersection B. It's a set of elements 2 and 4. Ayan po. So, moving forward. Complement of sets. Okay. The complement of sets denoted by A. Ayan. The complements of set A denoted by A prime or A apostrophe. Ang basa po dyan ay A prime, but it indicates as the complement of sets. Is the set of elements that are not in the set A, but in the universal set. So, how can we justify the complement sets po? So, ganito lamang po yan. Focus muna po tayo sa figure. So, para mas madali. Sinabi nga po sa definitions ng universal sets, all the elements found in the universal sets is the elements of universal sets itself. So, yun yun. Elements niya talaga yun. So, if we have set A here, and with elements A, C, D, and G, and we're talking about the complement of sets, ang gagawin nyo lamang po dito kay set A para malaman nyo po yung complement ni set A, takpan nyo lamang po itong si set A, yung circle niya. Halimbawa, maging invisible po ito sa inyo, blanken the set A. And all the elements na matitira or visible in our naked eye once we blanket the set A is the complement of set A elements. Ayan. Ayan yung elements ni complement set A. Yan na lang yung matitira. Kaya nga sinabi rito, is the set of elements that are not in set A but in the universal set. Si H, B, F, E ay nasa universal set. Tulad po na nakikita niyo po. So, ganun lang po ang gagawin. On the complements of set or given sets, you may blanken or you may cross out those elements doon sa universal sets, and whatever remaining elements found doon sa universal set, after mo pong i-cross out o i-deduct yung mga elements na meron ng set na yun na po yung mga elements na natira ay ang magiging sagot mo sa complements of set. Okay po, be mindful lamang po pag nadagdagan po yung mga sets. Kasi dito sa representation po natin, isa lang po yung sets. There might be one or more sets inside the universal sets as you have seen in previous slides po. So, let's move forward po. Ayan. So, unlike the complements of sets, there is a difference of two sets. The difference of two sets written as A minus B, yan, set A minus set B, is the sets of all elements of set A that are not elements of set B. So, ito po, madali lamang po ito. Let's say we have set A, whose elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, and set B, whose elements are 2, 4, 6, and 8. So, gagamit na po tayo ng same Venn diagram model as we've used on our previous slides. So, ito rin yung representations. So, hindi na po ulitin sir yan. So, listing. So, ngayon, we're asked to find what is A minus B. So, sa madaling salita, sa set A, babawasan mo ng set B. So, ang mangyayari, ganito lamang po. The relationships of two sets. Yun po ay magkadikit po na sets. Ang gagawin nyo lamang po dyan, takpan si set B or blankin natin si set B. So, imagine mo na blankin mo yan. At yung natitirang elements na lamang po ay elements 1 and 3. At yan po ang magiging sagot ni A minus B. A minus B, whose sets are elements 1 and 3. The same concepts naman, pwedeng vice versa po siya. Kung dito meron A minus B, dito B minus A. Same concept we've used. Kung kanina dito ang binalangkin natin si set B, dito ay blankin natin si set A. Para makuha po si B minus A. So, ito yung si set A. Takpan natin, i-blankin. Tanggalin natin siya. So, ano na lang ang elements na makikita po natin? Ang elements na makikita natin ay 6 and 8. So, we can say that B minus A is a set whose elements are 6 and 8. And that is true. Through our process na ginawa. Using the same concepts po. Ganun lamang po kadali ang difference of two sets dahil dalawang sets na po ang ating pinag-uusapan. And yung mga previous slides na pinag-aralan po natin up to this ay magagamit po natin sa mga activities na ating gagawin today. And let's move forward. So, ito na po. Cardinality of sets. Ito po yung mas madali po itong intindihin. The cardinality of sets is the number of elements contained in a set. So, ibig sabihin lamang po, we're going to count the number of elements for the representations of each sets. Let's say, set A is a set whose elements are apple, orange, catmon, and grapes. So, ngayon, malalaman nyo, there were 4 fruits there. Ayan, nandiyan po. So, 4 counts po yan. So, when we ask cardinality of set A, representing parang absolute value po yan, absolute value of A. But, if we are talking about the cardinality po ito ng set A, which is equal to 4. Yung 4 po, yan yung bilang ng elements sa loob ng representation of sets. The same with set B, is a set whose elements are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Counting it one by one, ito po ay may 5 elements. Set C, ito na po, may multiples na entry of the vowels A, E, 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 A, I, O, U. Just what I've mentioned before, isa lang po ang count ng mga iyan. Okay, kahit madami si A, isa lang ang bilang niyan, E, isa lang din po ang bilang yan, O and U. That is why the cardinality of set C is 4 po. So, move forward. The cardinality of set operations is deeper to the cardinality of set Take note, set operation po ito. Set operations is is very obvious when you see a representation of Venn diagram where there is a single number found in a side of one set and other set at one element lang din yung nasa gitna. Ayan po. Kung mapapansin nyo po, it is used for a worded problem just like with your activity. So 10 students were asked which fast food they like most. Refer to the figure. So 10 students ang ating pinag-uusapan. Ngayon, so how can we answer this following question? So, how many students like Jollibee? How many students like McDo? How many students like Jollibee only? How many students like McDo only? And how many students do not like both fast food? So, focus muna po tayo sa figure. So, in this part, this circle or representations of Venn diagram is for Jollibee only. The students who eats Jollibee only. So, we have 4 plus 2, 6. Dito naman po, McDo. This is for McDo only. Students who eat, or rather, who likes rather McDo. 2 plus 3 is 5. Yun po yun. So, here now, we're now able to find the answer of these following questions. But there is more I want to share with you. So, if we're able to combine the number of students who likes McDo and Jollibee, we're going to unite. Ayan, we're going to unite or union the sets of Jollibee and McDo. Jollibee Union McDo or sets of Jollibee Union sets of McDo. So ito yun, pagsasamahin natin, additions po tayo. 4 plus 2, 6 plus 3, 9. Ngayon, the question is, first question is, how many students likes Jollibee? So focus lang po tayo dito. Ito na ginawa natin kanina. 4 plus 2 is 6. How many students like McDo? Yan. Ulitin ko lang po ito. How many students like Jollibee? Baka nabanggit ko po ay with only. How many students like Jollibee? It is 6. 4 plus 2. And how many students like McDo? 2 plus 3 is 5. Ayan. Yung circle lang po na yun. 2 plus 3. And then, how many students like Jollibee only? O, eto na yon. Yung i-apply natin yung difference of two sets. So, tatakpan natin si McDo. So, how many student na lang po? Ang gusto ay Jollibee. We have 4. The same concepts here. We can use the difference of two sets for us to answer how many students like McDo only. So, yun. Ilan na lang po yung nakikita natin. We have 3. Okay, ngayon. How many students do not like both fast food? So, ito yun. Referring on the statement above. 10 students were asked which fast food they like most. 10 students. But if we combine the numbers of students who like McDo and Jollibee, all in all, it is 4 plus 2, 6 plus 3 is 9. So the question is, how many students do not like both fast food since the number of students asked is 10 students? So the answer is 10 minus the sum of this 9, and the answer is 1. Ayan po. So, kasi nga po, 10 yung estudyante na pinag-uusapan, but if we combine the number of students who like McDo and Jollibee, it is only 9 and we miss one student. Ayan po. Ayan yung hindi. Baka ito po ay sa KFC. Ayan. Baka ito hindi sa KFC, Mang Inasal o Greenwich. Ayan po. So, I think ay makakatulong po itong mga proseso po ito. So, might as well you may get some important details here and strategies on how to answer your activity sheet. So, let's move forward po for your activities. Ayan. So, for the practice exercises, just like that, ayan po. All the provinces in Region 4A. So, is a set whose elements are Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, Quezon. Ayan. Ayan po. Pwede niyo po siyang isulat in any order, pero mas madali po siya sa ganyan. The next is numbers greater than 8, which is whose elements are 9, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. Pwede yung 9, 10, 11 na lang. Pwede yan. All subjects in grade 7, depending. Pero if you are on public school, there would be Filipino, English, Math, Science, APTLE, ESP, MAPE. Dagdag niyo pa po yung homeroom. These are the elements. Next one, vowels in the English alphabet is the set of elements are A, E, I, O, U, and 5 animals with 4 legs. Anything with 4 legs. 4-legged animals such as cow, dog, elephant, goat, and jaguar. Why we don't write we don't write ellipsis? Because they ask for a finite number of animals, only 5 and nothing else po. Kaya sakto lang po. Kahit ano pong ilagay niyo dyan, basta 4-legged po, okay po yan. So next part, to practice exercises, I ex- I I describe set A. Ayan po. Set A is a set whose elements are divisible by 5, are counting numbers by 5 less than 40. Ayan po yun. So, so, ano man sa dalawa ay pwede po. Ayan, set whose elements are divisible by 5, pwede. Yung iba naman, counting numbers by 5, less than 40. Okay, so, some of the questions are assigned to you guys, and I think you are able to answer this. So, next part is this. Ayan. Using the figure below, find the elements found in the indicated sets. Ayan. So, para makatulong din po sa inyo, ito po siya. What is the A union B? So, sa A union B, ito po yung circle ni set A at ito yung circle ni set B. Pag union, pagsasamahin lang po natin, wag lang maulit yung mga elements. So, lahat po ng mga elements na ito, yan, ay isusulat lang po natin ng ganito. Ayan po siya. Elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Ayan po. Yan yung makikita niyo po dyan. What is the intersections of A and C? Yung intersection po ni set A at set B. Nasa gitna lang po niya yan. And that is 7 and 8. Ayan po. 7 and 8 elements. What is the union of set B and set C? So, tulad ng ginawa sa set A and U, ng set A and B, pagsasamahin lang po natin yung dalawang yan. So, huwag lang po maulit yung elements. So, we have elements 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Sa number 4, medyo challenging po yan, pero ito ang gagawin. What is the A union B? Yung pinagsama ni A at B, or rather, A intersection B, yung nasa gitna po, yung pala, yung nasa gitna, A intersection B. We have elements 2 and 8. Ayan po siya, intersections. And we have union C. Si C ay buong isasama doon sa intersection ng dalawang elements. Kung mapapansin nyo, may common si C at yung intersection ng dalawa. That is 8. So, ano na lamang ang kulang para madagdag doon sa sagot? At ito po ang magiging sagot. Ang nadagdag lamang po dito sa elements ni C ay si 2. Ayan po. Next, A union B intersection C. Pag sasamahin po natin si A at B, tulad po na nagawa natin kanina, at titingnan naman yung intersection ng union ng dalawang elements kay C. Intersections, ibig sabihin common kay C. Common kay C. Parehong meron kay C. So that is why ang sagot ay 5, 7, 8. Ayan po, yung common kay C nung pinagsamang A and B ay si 7, 8, 5, or 5, 7, 8 elements. As elements of number 5. Ayan po. So, yan lamang po at sana po ay makatulong po sa pagsasagot po ninyo at sa pag-aaral. And with that, God bless everyone. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig at see you po sa susunod nating tutorial at discussions po. Mag-aral po tayo mabuti. And this is Echo Shera. Please do like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And thank you for listening. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.